Hi everyone, welcome back. Fresh off a win. Only a few races left in the season, but now we got to put it back together. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Please consider subscribing if you have not already, because that helps me a ton with the whole Google algorithm who owns YouTube and the people who sell you ads using my likeness and intellectual property. Maybe I can get a bigger chunk of that cash because more of you subscribe and more of you watch, because that would be great. And I'm not even asking of you guys, I'm just asking you of your time. And a lot of you are generous enough to give it to me, and I appreciate that. So this week again, fresh off a win. You know, you never know when your last one's going to be, and you never know when the next one's going to be either. So I was really hoping to get one before the end of the year, and that came pretty quick. So the new setup that the new old setup, I guess you can call it, because we used it in the car back in 2017 and on, back at Thompson when we were winning races there. Well, guess it works, especially here. This car did exactly what I wanted it to last week, because we had problems with one setup. It would get in and through center really well, but I couldn't really get off very well. Then the second setup did the exact opposite. It was great on entry. No, actually, it was a little slower on entry and through center, but you could drive off like nobody's business and drive under people. It was great in traffic. It just wasn't fast on its own. The first setup was fast on its own, but not great in traffic. This setup is everything. This one's fast on its own. We put a 10.5 on the field, second practice last race. Then we were the fastest car in the race as well, even when I was backed off, trying to just kind of maintain a lead and not burn my stuff up. So we're not touching it. I have a bad habit of touching things. And this year I've been trying to break that habit pretty well, but you know, when I know there's something I could do better, I do it. Right now, I don't know if I can improve on this much more than what we have. I'm sure I can, but for right now, that's not my priority. My priority is putting it back together after tech, because there's parts and pieces just kind of hanging out all over the place. And I know it sounds a little bit narcissistic, but I often wonder if the tech inspection staff kind of watches races and looks for specific things that cars are doing out there, especially people who are dominating, and saying, that's awfully suspicious. We should tech X, Y, or Z tonight, which is actually a pretty smart thing to do, because you can catch a lot of people that way, especially if you know what you're looking for, which these guys, I think they know what they're looking for. And the way that my car was driving in that race, you would be hard-pressed to believe that we had lightweight driveline components in, especially when the track hasn't teched that in quite a long time. Well, tech staff said, all right, pull it over here, pull the clutch pressure plate, flywheel, and transmission out. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be here all night. But I know I'm legal, so I don't mind tearing it apart. If I know I'm not legal, why would I waste my night? They're gonna find it. So, at the end of the night, we still went home the winner. Unfortunately for my competition, because, we did that one fair and square. So, especially like, I don't know, all the rest of them. But either way, we gotta put it back together. It's held in here by a ratchet strap and 2 motor mount bolts. And that's it. And I don't know if that ratchet strap's gonna hold on much longer. So, car is all the way up in the air, as high as it can possibly get, because I can literally lean on the front fender. So now we've got to get this thing put back together. We're also gonna go through the maintenance agenda. I have my red pen out. I was gonna be marking the tires for how many races are on them. I got my transmission down there. The cover is facing up because I had to take that off. I might just take it and put a little smear of light silicone on it because the paper gasket's intact, but when you take them apart, I don't trust it as much. Then we got to get under the car, get the bell housing completely bolted back up, because that's kind of hanging there by a few random bolts just to hold the car up with the ratchet strap. Then I got to take the clutch pressure plate, flywheel, and all the bolts and spacers and all sorts of stuff. Clean them up, because there's red Loctite on all this stuff, and put it all back together. And unfortunately, I don't have help because my son tested positive for COVID. So he's inside kind of being miserable, which I don't blame him in the least. That's kind of sucks to be sick. And nobody's going to come over and help me because they don't want to catch it either. So there's a lot of vulnerable people in my family, and we don't want it to spread it around, so we're not going to do that. We're going to just suck it up and get to work. So back under the car I go. Here's my pile of air conditioners that are now useless to me and I'm now throwing away. Here's the disgusting rotted wood that I've used to plug the hole for time being until I can find something better. That wasn't really on the agenda for today, but I forgot that I have to go inside and edit the wind video so that you all can witness what I saw in doing that. And yeah, I haven't started yet. And it's supposed to storm, apparently, really bad. So I'm actually closing up shop for the night because I need to get out of here and get that done before the power possibly goes out. I don't know. We typically don't lose it very often, but you never know. We still do it from time to time. And I should probably go dig the trench out in front of the garage so it doesn't get all flooded. So as I'm closing everything up and shutting everything down and sealing every hole up in the garage, I gotta go. I'll see you tomorrow. It's the next day. Funny story. Got a funny story to tell you guys. As I got that air conditioner out of the wall over here and threw it in the junk pile, I called my wife because she was at Lowe's with my card. And I said, you know what? Since you're there, find me a new air conditioner. It can be a stand-up one. It doesn't matter. I'll pipe it out the door. Whatever. She's like, okay, 10-4, gotcha. Brings one home. Perfect. It's exactly what we need. Then I look at the forecast. It doesn't get above like 75 for like the rest of the year. And probably not going to see hot weather until next summer, which is like 9-10 months from now, something like that. So at least I'll be prepared. Anyway, we got to get back to work on this thing. We got to get everything put back in and inspected. I did do a little bit of work off camera though. Not only using old, maybe rotten wood and some RV sealant to cover up the hole from the AC unit, but I also took a little bit of this gear oil gasket maker and just kind of rubbed it over the cover, put it back together. That should be enough to seal it up. I'm probably going to take some and cover the pin here for the cluster gear because it tends to weep out of there. So a good idea is to take some gasket maker and stuff some in there. Tends to help it out a little bit. I'm going to go dig my bottle of Loctite out, get all the bolts and hardware and tools down underneath, and live under the car for a little bit. That was quite the workout. Just like usual. Put some Loctite to it, stuck a couple guns to it. She seems to be back together. Just got to test it, make sure everything's right. I don't want to have anything hanging up. Especially the spacing between the clutch the clutch throw-out bearing, because I got a hydraulic one, and the pressure plate. If that's a little too tight, that's going to hang the pressure plate open. It shouldn't. I did put spacers in it. I just hope we didn't lose any when we went to tech. Now we took them off and then put them back on. If that does happen to you, and you don't want to take the whole thing back apart again, what you can do is you can go into your toolbox or wherever you keep them, and you can find your body shims or caster camber shims. And what you do is you take, I don't know, a thick one, like an 1/8 inch or something. You can take the 4 bolts off the back of the transmission, or at least what holds the transmission on. Slide it back, stick a shim in behind those bolts, tighten it back up. You'll be all right. It'll last. I actually had that happen to me at Thompson one year. I thought I was spinning tire, and I'm like, that's not tire spin. I am slipping the clutch. And we, loosened up the 4 bolts, stuck a couple shims in there. 20 minutes later, we didn't have any slippage anymore. It was pretty great. And I just, you know what? I was like, unless this thing's coming apart for tech, I'm not taking it apart again because that's a lot of work. So the hell with it. It worked. It was fine. It didn't have any vibrations or anything silly. It lasted just fine. So otherwise, all right, what else do we got to do to this thing? We got to do all our regular maintenance like usual. I'm going to go brave the rain, go get my carb box, change the power valve and the jets back to where they were. I'll just live with it burbling under caution for a little bit and have to clean it out. We were a little bit doggy on restarts, so I want to kind of change it back to see if that fixes it. Then I'll check timing sometime later this week. We'll put a grease gun to everything. We should pull the front wheels off and check the brakes as well. I don't know. It was weird. They felt like they were getting hot, but the pedal wasn't going away. So I backed my pace down about halfway through the race last week. And because I saw how much of a gap I had, I'm like, well, we don't need to do that. We can just maintain this thing. So I backed off and I tried to just keep the tires and brakes cool. And that seemed to help a little bit. Then we had a bunch of cautions and that really helped them cool off. But I want to just make sure they're not cracking. I want to make sure there's no issues. Pardon all the rest of the tools that I got hanging around. Oh, by the way, my uncle gave me a back plate for a water pump. That's pretty rad. I like having those around because sometimes I forget and put the wrong kind of water in the car and just use tap water. Oh, that'll ruin it. Let's get rid of that. I was fixing my winch remote because the batteries seem to be getting a little bit iffy, and it is a Harbor Freight Chinesium jobby. So we got some batteries for it. Child Secure plus bitter coating. That kid looks really... You guys want me to taste one of these and see if this is disgusting or not? What do you think, dude? Do you want me to try this? My cousin Eric shows up. I was changing the I'm going to fill him in on this. I'm changing the batteries on my winch remote. It says bitter coating. Do you think I should taste test one?
Well, yeah, aren't 9 volts bitter coating as well or something?
Well, I don't think it's a bitter coating. I think that's the electricity that goes through a 9 volt.
So it can't be as bad as that.
Well, I'm going to try it. You want to try one? Just lick it or something? Oh, man. Oh.
Oh, it's like aerosol.
Oh, that is bad. Yeah, you're kidding.
Bad. That's bad.
That's real bad.
They gotta have a Red Bull in the car.
Oh, I'm gonna get a drink. Jesus, good on you, Duracell. Yeah, you're kidding. You're gonna mess with that. All right, I'm gonna put them in this thing. Hopefully they work better than that.
And my Red Bull tastes bad.
I know, right? I had to wash my mouth out after that. That was terrible. Thanks to Cousin Eric for stopping by and tasting batteries with me. That was gross. Hey, you know what? Give it up to Duracell for trying to keep our kids safe from, from themselves at least. Either way, we got a bunch done. Drive line's back together. Everything's in there. We got the carburetor put back to where it was. I think those settings, it doesn't run great under caution, but it runs great under green, and that's all I really give a damn about. So we're going to go back to that. We checked the water because if you guys remember earlier this year, we had all sorts of cooling issues because of that thing. And ever since I changed it to a nice Moroso unit, by the way, Moroso is a Connecticut company and always has been. And they're not a sponsor, but I'm a Connecticut boy myself, and I'm glad we got them here. So put that in, never had a problem. It's been great. When I was leading the race last week, we were 170. It was tremendous. So we're good there. I got a bunch of other stuff to inspect and make sure that it works properly. I'll probably pull the bearings apart and grease them up. And you know me. You know I love my grease. Grease is a very cheap insurance policy. And at least it'll keep us going. At Thompson, and I got to preface that with this. At Thompson, we used to have U-joint problems all the time. I used to replace U-joints constantly for whatever reason. But that was my old car. There might have been some kind of alignment issue too. I don't know what was up with that. But with this car, except for the roller bearing failure because they were cheap garbage and I put new stuff in it, it's been pretty good. And if I just keep it greased, it's fine. My apologies to Adam for having to work in that grease sling because it comes out eventually and it slings all inside the car. So he had to work on that in tech the other night. So, all right, I'm talking too much. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I got a bunch of domestic stuff to do and catch up on tonight. So we're going to do that and then we'll be back tomorrow. Morning. It's a couple days later. I am up with the chickens. I'm telling you, it's my day off. Well, midweek day off that I have. I have a weird schedule. I get Sundays and Tuesdays off. It's fine. Whatever. At least I get 2 days off. I don't care. But I've been outside working on my road cars because I had some stuff go wrong with them and got that all figured out. It's like 9 something a.m. right now. So we're back here and I think I'm going to make our lives a little bit better. So I went out to my local Napa. I was getting valve stems for my car because one went bad and luckily I didn't ruin the tire, but that's fixed. And I bought some Super Clean, which I love. And I bought extra Super Clean because I'm going to need it. And I found some very lightly or medium use, dirty rags. We're going to use them all up. We're going to go through and clean this car because there's one thing I hate. It's working on dirty vehicles. And especially with this car. This brand new car, I wanted to keep it clean. And I wanted to make it nice. My cousin was over here the other day. He was sitting in the car. I'm like, here's, check the fitment. And I handed him I might have done this on purpose. Actually, it's still in there. It's kind of funny. I handed him a bottle of Quick Detailer, and he went through and kind of wiped it all down from the inside. We're going to keep going with it a little bit, but we cleaned it up a little bit. But underneath the car, when we were in tech, the car has grease sling all in the rear suspension and the drive shaft tunnel. It's just really gross because when I grease the U-joints, under high RPM and high load, excess will come out and sling that grease out. So I always have to keep, re-greasing it and all that stuff. So I'm just going to take a bottle of Super Clean today, go ahead and, wipe her down a little bit, clean her up, make it a little easier for me to work on, get rid of some of that grease. And I'm also using it on full strength just to get rid of the grease and stuff. So if you're going to do that, I guess I got to order rubber gloves because I'm down to the last 2. Anyway, yeah, use rubber gloves because I think this stuff has a high bleach content in it, but you wouldn't know it. Just don't get it on your clothes. But it will clean pretty much anything off your car. Just use an inconspicuous area first so you don't ruin something. Look at this greasy, disgusting nightmare that befalls my car. This is why I am under here cleaning this thing, because it's a little tight under here, but it's also disgusting. So yeah, I'm gonna stay under here for a while and suck fumes of Super Clean. Wow, even my fuel filter's gross. And get this thing done. There's about 20 rags. Doing pretty good though. Got underneath there and cleaned out most of the bottom of the car. I even did a lot more than I thought I was going to because, let me step over that mess. I didn't realize how much oil vapor comes out of a car when you're racing it. There's a little tiny weepy leak on the transmission somewhere, or maybe the front main has a little tiny weepy leak. That oil gets hot and it makes it a little bit easier to come, rolling down the engine or whatever, and then it hits the air and vaporizes and blows all over the tin work or whatever. That's why I have so many rags down. And all that grease that's slung all over the place, that's all there too. So we got her pretty well cleaned up. I'm going to do a little bit more under the hood and try to at least contain some of the mess. I mean, yeah, I hate working on dirty cars, but so do other people. And that was my idea all along when we put this brand new car together. Hey, why don't we have something nice and keep it that way? Because I've just been sick of using old used garbage forever. Not that my old car was garbage by any stretch of the imagination. It's just that I guess I didn't really take care of it as much as I could. Anyway, I know I have taken care of it, and I wish somebody would buy it. But can't have everything. So hopefully the economy in racing turns and that thing gets sold pretty soon, because I really need somebody else to use it. And I'd like it out of my yard. So hit me up if you want that car and you live locally. So I'm just taking a peek. Yeah, we got a lot more cleaning to do. So I'm going to get my gloves back on. I had to do a wardrobe change and get back to it. So I'm still cleaning. I was just kind of doing this before I go do maintenance stuff. But I found this outside. This is an old water extinguisher. And the thing is like perfect. Yeah, it says Kitty. It's fully stainless steel and it works. And I put air to it. I think the chuck kind of stinks on it, but check it out. It works. I say that because I soaked the pumpkin of my rear end down because it was kind of spongy and gross, and I got a bucket underneath it. You can see it's gross. So I'm going to take this thing and rinse her off and see if we can get it cleaned up. Maybe I'll even put a fan on it to blow it off. Okay, let's see if this thing works. Hey, there we go. I gotta kind of figure it out so that I can... It's better than dragging the hose out. You know, if some of it doesn't get on there or collected by the bin, oh Jesus, so be it. You know, it'll all go to the front of the garage anyway. I'll get my shopping cart fan out and I'll drag that thing over here and we'll get it all sorts of dried off, but I think for now I'm gonna keep trying to get the underside, which means the car's got to go in the air. Tell you what, that thing cleaned up really well. And that fire extinguisher totally doesn't spray back at you if you hit something solid. Hey, this pan was clean when I put it under there, so we definitely got some of the scourge off. Adam will be happy, and I guess the rest of the guys who helped me out. So while this place dries out a little bit on this beautiful late summer day, I think I'm going to pull the wheels off, get to these front hubs, but I'm also thinking about changing valve springs because engine feels a little tired, feels a little lazy. It's been a while since I did the valve springs. Yeah. Some people say 4 to 5 races, some say 8, some say run it half a year, run it for the full season. I don't believe in any of that stuff. They're single valve springs. If you run a crate motor, they're very small. We don't have beehive springs like the 604s. We have straight up valve springs, and they're very touchy. You know, they're very touchy. So I think I already have some in stock. They're up on that shelf. So I was thinking about just doing it. It's been too many races since I've done it. So I'll pull these wheels off, get a good area. I can go stand in here, pull the spark plugs out, and then I'll do that, and then I will, on my way out, grease the hubs. right, I'm happy. I've been kind of inspecting the brakes in the meantime, but I did get it fired up. And we did put the jets and everything back in the carburetor that were in it before. And like I said, I don't know, you watch the video and on the restarts, the outside lane can keep up with me and then start pulling away. And it's like, she feels a little lazy. I think it's been a while since I did valve springs, so I think I'll just do that and be done with it. And now it sounds fine. Engine runs great. Got it up to some RPMs after warming it up, and mint. So leaving it alone, not touching it, not touching timing, not touching anything. I'm inspecting the brakes over here on this corner and that corner. They seem fine, so I'm just going to keep on going with the maintenance program. Might pop this one off just to check the grease and tighten the nut on it, just to be safe. But otherwise, just making sure things are okay. After that, I'm just going to continue maintenance. And since this thing is on setting 1 for the quick jacks, and I need it on setting 2, which is Cloud City, I will put that thing all the way up, hop on the creeper, and get to greasing the drive shaft because we had it out. I know people are like, I never grease my drive shaft. To do it once or twice a year. I do it like every race. But then again, you got to remember, I am gun shy about U-joints, and I'm kind of sick of them. Because when we were racing at Thompson, I've mentioned this 100 times, I had problems with them. And this year, I found broken needle bearings in it. So it's like, grease is cheap. Trust me, it's 10 minutes. And literally, if it's in the air already and I have the creeper out and I have a grease gun that's pneumatic, I just hook an air gun to it, or the air hose to it, and just go get it. It's 10 minutes of work for cheap insurance, and grease is like $3 a tube. It's not that big a deal. So I'm cleaning up tools, and I'm going to start super cleaning all the areas that I got oil and stuff on. And I'm going to continue the whatever maintenance I got done. I'm already getting tired today. I've been out here since 7 a.m. It's like probably, I don't know, 3? I don't even know. But I've already put in a full 8-hour day today. So it's like, do I keep going because it's nice out or not? But I'm already here. I changed my mind. I'm going inside. I'm tired. My wife's got to leave. So I'm going to go take care of the kids. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, it's the next day. I just got done with a whole bunch of yard work and helping my kid with homework because he was out for a few days. And it's weird. They kind of just gave him homework without telling him how to do it. So guess we had to take that one over. Anyway, commentary aside, we have stuff to do. And a lot of it is just simple maintenance. We are going to do my favorite maintenance, which people still question me on, grease. Everybody knows I love my grease, but hey, you know, what's the closest? Wood. Knock on actual wood. We haven't fallen out of a race because of maintenance. Other factors? Sure, not maintenance. And like I said, grease is cheap insurance. You don't want a steering component failing. You don't want a suspension component locking up or breaking. You don't want your drive shaft coming apart. Grease is cheap. It's a great maintenance. We're going to do that. We're going to do that to the hubs as well. I'm going to take them apart. While I have those apart, I'm going to look at the brakes. Make sure that they're not cracking or anything going wrong in the rear as well. I'm going to take front and rear, take a look, see, make sure there's no funny business going on. Might even put a wrench to some brake components just to make sure they're either tight and the fittings are tight. I did notice on the rear, because I have some strange like Dash 3 female to female 180 degree fittings on my rear brakes to make them work properly the way that I wanted to design them. I noticed that one had come loose the other day when I bumped into it, so I want to make sure those are tight. Pretty good progress here. I'm actually kind of like worried that I'm not doing enough work because, well, for the whole season, I've been here just kind of busy changing things. Like, I've been changing springs, I've been changing shocks, I've been changing ride heights, I've been, doing alignment, I've been rebuilding something, I've been just straight up busy, and this week, after that kind of a win, you look at the car and say, well, geez, I don't think we should really touch it, because it's so good that if we do something, we could ruin it. And I don't want to go down that road again, man. I've been down that road way too many times where we just ruin something that's good. Like, we used to use this setup back in 2017 when we won 3 races at Thompson in 1 year, and that was a 7-race season. And why I got away from it, I don't really know. But, I mean, I do know, but I think I got rid of it for a reason I just didn't quite figure out until, like, right now. But, like I said, for the whole season, we've been changing stuff, and now I'm at the point where I'm like, am I doing enough maintenance? Because I haven't had the car apart. Oh, I mean, I did for tech because we had to put the clutch and transmission and stuff back together. But aside from that, we haven't torn into it. I'm not changing a ride height. I'm not changing a spring. I'm not changing a shock. I'm not changing anything. The only thing I'm really going to do from here on out is grease it, check all the bearings, make sure all the stuff isn't falling apart, make sure nothing's leaking, make sure the timing's good, make sure it gets fuel. Just routine maintenance and get this to be as comfortable as possible. The only thing I might do for the setup is maybe, this is a big maybe, maybe I'll loosen it up a hair. I'm talking like 0.5% a wedge, just to see if it does something. And if it does, I can fix it really easy. But I don't know if I really want to change anything right now. Will that be an at the track adjustment or in the garage adjustment? I haven't touched a bolt on this damn car. I haven't changed any heights. I haven't changed the tires. I'm scaling it with these tires. So, all right, I got to stop talking because we're done for the night. It's getting a little late. And I got a lot done that I think tomorrow's Thursday, so that's the day it goes on scales. I think we're ready for that, so we'll see you tomorrow. It's the next day, and I just took a shower. Yeah, that's all done now. Apparently that carb cleaner can fell over and punctured itself on what? I don't know. And it sprayed the entire side of my car and the back of my leg the second I walk in here. Well, that sucks to completely lose a brand new full can of that. I guess I'll go open the door and get my brother's porta-power out of that because that doesn't need to be in there. Either way, today is load day. And like I said, I feel like I haven't done enough work. Like, the whole rest of the year, I've been just doing something where the car's been apart. But this week, since the car was so good and so fast and we won, it's like, I don't want to take it apart. I don't want to touch it. So basically all we did was put it together from tech and like grease it and inspect it. And I feel like I haven't done enough work. But maybe this is what it's supposed to be like when you're competitive, Maybe you're not supposed to mess with it too much. You're just supposed to leave it the way it is and just kind of do your thing, which I think we're pretty good at that. I did notice one item of maintenance that's going to need to be done. I think remember when I built this rear end, I put a solid crush sleeve spacer in it. I think I put one too many shims in it and the preload on the bearing wasn't enough. And it's a little tiny little bit of wobble to it. So she needs to be tightened up, but I think it'll last and should be okay until I can get to doing that. That's gonna be really invasive, but I don't have time to do it right this minute. So it'll live, but we need to get a little more preload on the pinion bearing. But other than that, she's gotta go on the ground. I actually have more shop stuff to show you. I got this. It's a nice Hisense. Oh, there's the remote control for it. Standing air conditioner with the ducting right here. Now I had this specific unit, this one right here, in my bedroom this summer. And boy does it work. But I got a smaller one because this thing was kind of hard to walk around. It was like at the corner of the bed, room's a little tight. So I decided to, when the wife was at Lowe's or Home Depot or wherever, hey, can you pick me up another one? They only had smaller ones. So I'm like, well, this is good for like, I think 350 square feet, which I'd say that's probably good here. And my bedroom is smaller, so it's like, well, let's put the small one in there and bring this one out here. Good to go. So after I pay off that little tiny bit of credit card debt, we'll have air conditioning in the shop. Well, we do anyway, but you know what I mean. To install it, what I was thinking about doing was with this panel that was just kind of here, I was thinking about making a piece of cardboard as a template for this, because there's screw holes in this side here. I was just going to take it and just cut it out of this scrap piece of whatever I got holding this window opening shut with some goop in it, and just kind of piping it outside, throw a couple screws in it to hold it there. And then this thing does stretch pretty far, so I figured I could find a place to put this. And I'm really glad that the filters are really accessible. Like, there's this one that's completely filtered off, and this whole corner here completely filtered off, which is good. Yeah, we're definitely going to need that, especially in the dustiest place on earth, known as my shop. Okay, so otherwise, we are at the point where we have to put this thing on scales, which means probably opening the door, which it's beautiful out, so that's perfect. Get the can of gas, or two, however many I need. Fill up the tank, check the air pressures, and lower her down on some scale blocks and get to checking numbers. And as long as it looks good from last week, put it in the box. So let's get to it. Boy, it is amazing how filthy this place gets when I'm not really doing a heck of a lot. But the car's in the box, and for the second time this year, we're going back as the defending race winner. And if you asked me earlier in the season, or even before the season started, hey, what do you think the expectations would have been for this season? I would have told you, well, I don't really know. Because the ego part of me says, oh, we're great. Yeah, we used to go race against guys 10 times as talented at Thompson and beat them, and then you forget about the years you struggled and forget about all the other times, and you go out there with a brand new car and a new track, and you don't know anybody there, and the expectations are really kind of in the air. It's basically go out there and do your best and figure it out. And if you said I was going to get a win this year, I'd be like, wow, that's pretty great. You know, that's fantastic. I'd be very happy with that. But to get two, that's almost exceeding realistic expectations at this point. I think one kind of was, because I've seen people who are much more seasoned and accomplished than I am go up there and race these very cars and not win their first year. You know? I mean, yeah, we're not really doing well in the points, which I really expected to do well in points. Maybe not win as much, but maybe do well in points. But man, just 2 DNFs because of problems that weren't really our fault at all. Just got caught up in other stuff, and that stinks, but what are you going to do about it, you know? So I'm just going to do what we always do. Like I said, we're going to go out there and do our best, just like always. And hopefully we can finish this year out really strong, and who knows, maybe build something towards next year. We'll see. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, guys, headed to the track. 3 races to go. Looking for a strong finish to the season. Luckily, next week we have the week off We sit back and relax a little bit, and then we go back for the last two, and season's over. Another beautiful day to go down the bumpy road. Go. Jesus. Practice report. All right. I only went out for one round, and I'll give you a reason why, and it's kind of weird, but we were quick, and I was taking it easy. I had a brand new right front on the car. I know this setup can trend a little bit tight, so I was just kind of taking it easy. Didn't want to beat the hell out of it, so we just took it easy. We were second quickest first practice. Not a big deal. Car felt really good, so I said, you know what? I'm not really going to adjust on anything, so I don't think I'm going to take a second round of practice anyway. It felt fine. So, and then I got this. So Dick Ayers is a local track photographer. He comes around and sells pictures and stuff. And when you win, it's nice to have, especially for sponsors and stuff. He gave me like 4 pictures. So I got this one. I love these pictures when you cross under the flags. They're really awesome. And then I noticed this in the background. That is my brother doing his Triple H celebration, and he's not a wrestling fan in any way. He just wanted to do something fun, and now it's immortalized in picture form. I think that that is tremendous. I have been dying laughing at that since I got him, and it's so worth the money. If I find that kid, I should give him this picture. That'd be cool. But I thought that was funny. Heat race report, pretty uneventful. I don't think I'll include that video because all we did was just kind of ride the low line until we got to third and just kind of rode there. But we ran a pretty quick time, and the car was a little tight, but when it's fast, I guess you just kind of deal with it. Starting 9th in the feature, gonna do our best. It is early o'clock the next day. If you see me kind of looking put together, well, I was gonna go to work today. And I had asked for the day off, but they didn't tell me if I'd had it or not. And then I got there and apparently I had it off, so I woke up early for no reason. Not like it mattered, because I had my typical post-race migraine, which stinks. So it's not like I was sleeping anyway. So I had a nice round trip to Duncan and back, but car's back in the shop. She's back in the air. I don't know where this came from. Oh well, damage is damage. But that was quite hectic at times for a race that went green to checkered. I mean, what, right off the rip, we had somebody going through the grass in turn one, and I'm trying to keep it tight on the inside. You know, when you're racing, all you want to do is not give up space, right? So you're trying to keep it tight, and I go off into turn one, I see grass and people stopping in front of me, and I'm like, well, this isn't going to end well. And I hammered, I think, the 42 car, and I think he went up over my hood because, I'll show you. I'm hooked on my own car. This is peeled back. There's marks here, and this is all ripped up, and this hood pin's knocked back, and I could show you the hood is broken in two different spots. You can kind of see that. Well, three really. It just ripped the thing right up. And I think it just knocked that pin back and it pushed the hood down. It ripped it up. So it's like, oh well, poor old hood. I pulled that out of the back of my brother's shed. I think it was sitting outside for well over a decade. So it's all sun bleached and cracked and brittle, and I used it anyway. We're gonna fix it. I'll probably take some small rivets and some aluminum backing and just rivet it back together and put some duct tape over it or something, but it's still in decent shape. I can run it. I'm gonna try to fix that, and we have an off week this upcoming week. Then we have 2 races after that, and that's the end of the season, which, I'll be honest with you all, I know it's been a season of me complaining about how much of a grind it is and how stressful it is and this and that, but you know what? It's kind of funny. In the last few weeks, and I mean, yeah, we got to win in the meantime, but it's like in the last few weeks, I'm really starting to enjoy it. Weirdly enough, I'm actually kind of starting to enjoy this. And I think having a quick race car helps a lot, but I think there's more to it than that. I think it's more the rewarding factor of racing. It is seeing something that you built, worked on, tried to make better, just kind of working and seeing it. It's like having children. It's a rewarding experience, no matter how stressful it can be at times and how much you want to pull your hair out and how much you want to harm yourself or something, because it's just, you can't bring yourself to harm others. So it's been a rewarding and interesting experience as of late. And if I put all this effort into putting a brand new car together, racing it 1 year is really not. Why would you do that? You know what I mean? Do I look tired? Look at this sad old man. Anyway, I'm not sad. We finished 4th. I mean, we had a dang good car. A little tight. But we're still working out the bugs on the old setup, quote unquote. I mean, it was with an older car, and the older car was different than this one. So, I mean, it's not like we're bad either. We're really not bad. I mean, in the heat race, we posted one of the fastest lap times. We were 3rd fastest lap time in the feature on like lap 11, and we went green to checkered. So if we can get a little bit of the tight out of it but not hurt the drive off, we're going to be in business. But I'm going to be ordering a box or 2 of pop rivets because this thing needs to come apart. There's a lot of work that needs to be done in the off time, and that's a good thing, because I need a little bit of time to fix this thing. I mean, I know guys will put brand new noses on when theirs starts to look like this, but you know what? We've ridden it out all year long. We're going to keep going. I think the nose has to come off. We can't repair this because, yeah, that poor thing is junk. Bottom one's okay. We might be able to do something about that, fix that up. We're going to have to pull it off and straighten it out because this backing plate's bent. We got to fix that pin. This thing got peeled up. This side's all wrecked. Like I said, there's 2 races left. I'm not spending $180 on a nose to look good. You can't see it from the grandstands. Got to fix this fender. Something got bent here. I don't know what happened. Maybe bent the bumper in a little bit. I'm not sure. Let me take a look. Oh, yeah, she's bent in. See right here how it's pooched in right there? Let me show you. See how it's dented in right there? That's telling me that the right front got bent in a little bit. So that stinks. But we'll have to push her back out or something, or I don't know what to do with that, but we're going to need some frame savers, and we're going to have to start fabbing stuff in the off season if we plan on coming back. I will say, though, when we had the incident where the 42 just came straight across, and I did not expect that, and I absolutely drilled him, I expected the right front tire to be way worse than it is, and look at this thing. The thing looks brand new. You can read the number on it. You could look at it. It's like got one little, it almost looks like a Sharpie mark on it. It's perfect. I'm like, wow, there's a saving grace for us. But we're going to have to start pulling the, I think we need new bearings, honestly, because this thing, every race, I'm like tightening the nut on it, and it always has a little bit of wiggle to it. I think we're probably hurting bearings on this thing. We should probably grab some new wheel bearings just to be safe. The rear end has to come out. I need to do some pinion work because I felt a little wiggle in it. So that needs to be fixed before it starts ruining the ring and pinion mesh. We can also straighten it when it comes out. And like I said, we got body work to do. If I'm repeating myself, I do apologize. But like I said, when you work the day after you race. Also, I work the day I race. So racing, that's why it's so stressful for me, is that I go out, I go to work, I have to hustle to get out of there. And when I'm done with my job, I can go home, which is sweet. And that's the only reason I can continue racing, but it's still stressful. Like, I have to absolutely hammer through that and then go home, immediately jump in my truck and trailer, drive straight to the track and go race, then drive immediately home so that I can go to work the next day. So, stressful. But I want to thank you guys so much for hanging in there with me, and I appreciate all the kind words, and I appreciate all the people who watch and share me, and you know, try to build this community up and try to save short track racing, man. It's such a wonderful community, and I'm hanging in there by my fingernails. I really am. I mean, this is really tough to do right now, especially with the way the world is and the way how expensive stuff is, and it's rough, but man, I want to keep going, and I'm thinking about coming back next year. I really am. I'm just looking for, and I'm talking to financial partners and sponsors and stuff, and hopefully we can put something together for next year, because I think we got a lot to build off of. And to be frank with you, I enjoy spending the time with my brother, and I spend the time with people, and it is exciting. So thank you guys again. If you have not subscribed, please consider doing so. Please tell your friends, family, whoever you think would like this type of thing. I know it's kind of long form vlogging, but we do have some projects also lined up. This is a channel with a little bit of everything. A lot of racing. In the off season, it'll be a automotive type channel. So thank you guys again. I greatly appreciate it. And until next time. I almost forgot. See if I can get that nice and straight. Come on. There we go.